have time to flesh that out. I agree, anything that goes there is going to have impacts on the neighborhood, assuming they have customers, right? Unless it's, you know, something out of the ordinary, right? But in some of the previous questions, I feel like there probably is some sort of number that makes more sense in terms of the demand that we're looking at here, because that's kind of the question. If you're asking me for an opinion, I would need more time to study. And then Mustafa had, you know, specifically had some time this afternoon. I did not have a chance to go in and out of it and respond to questions to him back and forth. When I called, he wasn't available, unfortunately. So, once again, I have no problems with the use per se. It is the intensity and whether or not all these spaces that we think may have been accounted for are utilized here, and whether or not this is, you know, this is real. So it's probably not an answer. I apologize.
No, it's okay. If you had more time, could you provide an answer?
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Commissioner Kylie.
Yeah, it appeared that we kind of all loved the idea of the business, but besides traffic, I think it's just the location, because it's right across from those two entrances and exits to the parking structure. And we hear weekly about pedestrians who have close calls. So just adding one more element of traffic there in concentrated time zones. It's just a concern. You know, like say we've got two elementary schools east of Oakland on Capitol. You know, it's a little quieter neighborhood. There's some businesses, but it doesn't have that kind of traffic, or where Lake Bluff is located. So it's just trying to fit that use into that location. That's, you know, a concern.
Thank you. And just to remind everyone, we do have our conditions in front of us, and is there two sets? So we're doing a conditional use and we're doing a parking exception. And so just a reminder to look over those, because when we make a motion or a decision, if we're going to do so, you need to, by law, we need to state very clearly what the decision was based on, which of these factors. So I just wanted to remind people of that.
The conditions are in the memo for the conditional use, and then I did provide a special exception on page 36. The requirements.
Commissioner Kleinman and Commissioner Kleinman.
I have two comments. One is, I think reality, you know, if you put yourself in the car and go to pick up your kids, you're going to park at the grocery store, grab something to eat, and then go get your kid. Can we add a condition, I guess, if you wanted to have a better crosswalk that actually stops cars to get back and forth across the street, and you know, that will help not only with pedestrians going to this business, but pedestrians in that general space. Having a beefier pedestrian crosswalk.
Well, the conditions that you'd be looking to place on approval would be conditions that would be under the control of the applicant. In other words, we're asking the applicant to do X, Y, and Z, and that satisfies us that the terms and conditions under 535, 25C can all be met. So that one they wouldn't really have control over, but certainly the municipality could take action separate from that to the public space there, and where the crosswalk is and those types of things. So that really wouldn't, no, because that would be not under control of the applicant. It wouldn't be anything that the applicant would do to meet that. It's a little bit different. That's a great question.
There were kind of three things there, I guess. Making wood one way really reduces the turnaround impact, which is a better crosswalk, and then having some parking areas be during pickup and drop-off times, a limited time frame. So they're not going to be filled with employees of this or other businesses in the area. That they're free for pickup and drop-off. I've seen that successful at some downtown businesses where you need to get your cat in, but you don't want to park, you know, 400 feet away with your cat. So they put up a couple loading zones during certain times.
On street? Is that
on street.
On street.
Kind of, you know, 15-minute, 30-minute parking. And that was enough to satisfy that customer flow for that business. But again, that's something we would do as a village, not as a condition of approval.
Thank you. I'm going to take one more question and comment, and then I want to open it up to the residents, and then we can resume with questions by the commissioners.
I think there was a comment or a question from a resident and then some response about lighting. And in 2016, the Planning Commission passed a commercial lighting plan. Ordinance. And so that's just something that our planning director could deal with the owner of the building, making sure that they were in compliance with whatever that ordinance says.
And I believe they did volunteer to make those improvements, probably never did. So, noted.
Excellent. Thank you, and you may be brought back up, but thanks for now. I will open it up now for public comment. Reminder, when you come to the when you're calling, come to the microphone, just state your name and your address for the record so the clerk can get it right. And then also try to direct your questions to the board or to the chair and not to other audience members. So is there anyone in the audience that would like to make comments or ask questions at this time? Yes.
Hi, thanks for holding the meeting. My name is Michael McQuillan. I live at 1900 Eastwood Place, about a half block down from the building. Like people have said, I think it's a nice idea, but a terrible location. One perspective that I'd like to add to the study is more the human nature perspective that we see on our block. We've got a lot of people parking there already who go to Orange Theory Fitness or Ruckus. The street can generally handle that. A couple of the human nature things that I see though is, generally people park fairly respectfully. But if they're looking to go to Ruckus really quickly, they have no qualms about parking over your driveway. And with a use like this where people are going to be, oh, I just got to quickly drop off or I just got to quickly pick up, that's when people who are normally considerate will often be inconsiderate because they're like, I'm only going to be there for a short period of time. So we see that a lot on Wood. The other thing that I hope you take into consideration is we have a lot of kids on our block and they play outside a lot. So a lot of it's, playing catch on the sidewalk or throwing the football on the sidewalk or tag or this or that, and often crossing the street. But one of the other things that we will see a lot is even when the kids are on the sidewalk playing and should, technically be safe, when someone whips into a driveway to turn around, they always cross that sidewalk threshold. So if you've got kids out there and people are going to be turning around, we see that a lot as a safety concern. I know a lot of my fellow neighbors are here. I want to give them a chance to speak to, but the last thing that I would like to bring up is just I've lived in my house since 2002, and the pressure for parking on those residential streets right in from the commercial district is kind of constant. I remember when we first moved in, there was a proposal on our street, Jarvis and Olive, and it may have been a couple others in that first block from Oakland. The idea was to remove the street trees for about half the block, remove the terraces, and put in diagonal parking. So one of my big concerns is not just from the immediate use, but a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, if that pressure for parking is big, those ideas come back of, well, let's just throw in diagonal parking for half of the block and that'll take care of it. So I hope you all consider those things and imagine if your house, all these impacts were going to be happening to your house, how do you feel about it as you deliberate? Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to say welcome to Sheldon Hoffman for being on the meeting? Do you have anything you'd like to say as well?
No, so it's always a pleasure to attend any Shorewood gathering. It's fun to watch democracy in action in Shorewood.
Thank you. Is there any other resident that would like to speak on the matter? Person in the green shirt.
You can go ahead if you want.
Oh, okay.
All right. With the glasses.
Hi, my name is Attorney Jan Eder. I live at 4175 North Oakland in the Mosaic. I don't have a car by choice. I'm just concerned that I heard through the grapevine, but maybe tonight I shouldn't be so concerned that that bus stop number 2262, which is on the southeast corner, of Wood and Oakland, remain there. And now maybe my concern isn't so bad because maybe a lot of employees will find that the green line is very convenient. But some people, I heard from some people that it was being considered to be removed or something. And that probably isn't a Shorewood issue, but more a county issue. But do you know anything about that?
Because the applicant had requested consideration of that through Milwaukee County Transit System, and that's why I approached MCTS on that issue. My understanding is that the stop was recently moved there during the redevelopment of the Ruckus, and at that point, the village had said that they were okay with it being located there. So MCTS did not have any desire at this time to move it back or elsewhere. So in my conversations with MCTS, it's going to stay there. Barring some larger issue, they didn't really take up the request.
Okay, because I could say, I take that stop a lot going north, and hundreds of residents all during the day take that bus stop. I'm also a little concerned though that a lot of people are now, because it's the closest to the center, this isn't really my concern, it would be MCTS concern. I can start parking there and letting people off. So the green line going north might not be able to, might have problems now pulling, you know what I mean, stopping there. Thank you very much.
Sir, how do you spell your name?
Oh, Jan, Jan, last name Eder, E-D-E-R.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I recognize some of your names from sending in comments, and I want to thank everybody that did send in a comment. And if I have not responded personally, I will delete. I read it all.
I'll be writing you, but it doesn't look like it. Well, concerned with us.
Hi, Erin Ruppel, R-U-P-P-E-L, 1811 Eastwood Place. I was here last month because we're the house right next to the Goldie space. I looked over all of the new documents, and I have a few concerns that I want to outline. The first criterion for the conditional use permit is that the use will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare. As you've all discussed, traffic is the main concern here, I think, with public health and safety. In terms of where parents are coming from, I went on the CASA website, and there were some kind of market studies for different potential franchise locations, and it showed that the highest concentration of client potential is around the Cambridge Woods neighborhood, so about 2 miles away. Oakland a little further if you take Maryland, because you're trying to avoid Oakland. So I imagine that a lot of those parents are not going to be walking their kids to school, to the daycare, maybe biking. The analysis that they provided states that pickup and drop-off are expected to consist of 100 cars taking 10 minutes each for 90 minutes, which equals out to 11 or 12 cars at a time. But in the proposal, the original proposal, and I think still the documents that are in there now, the drop-off and pickup windows are an hour, from 7:30 to 8:30, so not 90 minutes, which translates to 17 cars at any one time, or 1 car every 35 seconds dropping off. Assuming that you don't have a whole bunch of people dropping off at like 7:35 trying to get to work, right? That it's evenly spread, it would be a car every 35 seconds. So those are some concerns I have with level of traffic as they relate to public health and safety. In terms of location of traffic, some of this stuff has been discussed. The site is about half a mile from St. Robert's School, Atwater Elementary, Shorewood High, and Shorewood Intermediate School. I'm not sure what the start time is for St. Robert, but Atwater, Shorewood High, and Shorewood Intermediate all have start times between 8:05 and 8:15, which is right in the middle of the proposed drop-off area. A lot of students, especially those who live within half a mile of the school, most of the kids who live on my block are probably walking and biking to school, and so I'm concerned about public health and safety as it relates to traffic for kids who are trying to get to school around 8 o'clock, and especially because a lot of this additional traffic is probably going to be on streets like Murray, Maryland, Kenmore, all of which directly border or directly adjacent to Atwater Elementary. If traffic gets crazy and more parents start driving their kids to Atwater, now we have even more traffic problems, further contributing to issues. And it's also been discussed, parking is only on the right side of the street on Wood, so people, if they want to park there, would need to approach from Murray or Maryland, again, directly adjacent to Atwater Elementary. And you cannot fit 2 cars down the street at once. So if a car is coming at you, you have to pull over, hope that there's a place to pull over, and then wait for them to pass. So I imagine if we have a lot, this concentrated time period of cars twice a day, during rush hour and school starts, that there's going to be a lot of backups related to letting cars pass in either direction. I think that those issues related to traffic also are related to the second criterion for conditional use, that it's not going to be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other property in the immediate vicinity. Things like Mike mentioned, a lot of kids out playing, people trying to get to work and enjoy, I think that the important thing to keep in mind is that while Oakland is primarily commercial, a lot of the area that's going to be affected is residential. So that is a big factor in my decision-making process, at least. I didn't get to see the engineering analysis, but I think that these comments also relate to the fifth criterion, related to ingress and egress designed to minimize traffic congestion on public streets. And in terms of, so I mentioned that the hour versus 90-minute drop-off inconsistency. I was unclear about whether it's appropriate to consider spaces on adjacent streets, especially on these residential streets.